Hey, hey, hey! As you can see, guys, it's December 2016, it's Christmas time. We are 10 days away from Christmas. The best time of the year, isn't it? Well, what can we talk about today? Well, audio groups on Facebook. Let's just get out of the way right away. Facebook is a love and hate place to be. Some people love it, some people hate it. I do both. Not because of the audio groups. Audio groups in general, perfect. All types of groups are good. They serve several people with several needs, several interests, especially for the audio hobby and the audio business. As a collector, as a builder, as a DIYer, audio groups is perfect place for me to be. Is it perfect for everyone? Yes. Is it perfect? No. And here's why. A lot of groups have a lot of people, a lot of members. There's a lot of group members in these groups. What's the problem with that? Well, you have a lot of people with different opinions. Different opinions can and will lead to arguments and in some cases verbal fights. And it goes even further. I run a few groups. I'm a member of multiple groups and I see it every day and all the time. People can't behave. And I try my best to behave. Sometimes I get out of line. I agree with that and I will admit to that. And because I meet people who are just plain ignorant and stupid and they need to get their little passport written on, and of course sometimes it goes too far, and I'm the first one to own that one, but 99% of the time I behave and I try to be cool and good to people. The problem is when you have a certain amount of people and it's the same guys all over every time. They are members of a lot of groups. And in every group they are nothing but bullies, snobs, ignorant dumbasses. And they love to pick a fight, they love to pick an argument, and they do it just to be dumbasses. And to be a pain in the butt. So if you run a group, and you want the group to be the best it can, and you want your group to be standing out as something really cool, positive, something that everyone can relate to and be happy with and be a member of, you as an owner, admin or moderator or whatever you are, just keep an eye out and manage your group and see who is being out of line and not. Give them a warning, give them a second warning. If they don't change their attitudes or actions after 2 warnings, boot them out. You don't need them. You want to make a good group, a good environment, a good community for the hobby. So if you see these dumbasses coming to your group, they do thread stealing, they call people names, they talk down on people and their equipment, just boot them out if they don't behave after a couple of warnings. If you are a member of a group, and you don't have that power or authority to boot people out or give them a warning, what can you do? Well, sadly there's not much you can do. And the reason is, a lot of these people are friends with some of these group moderators and owners and admins. So they can like have free roam and free range to do almost whatever they want. And when you start to address it or complain about it, you are being told that you are the problem. There are certain groups that you should stay away from all for no better reason than just they're just not any good. They don't bring any positivity with them. And some groups are, well, some good people and a bunch of dumbasses. And it's sad because groups on Facebook, I mean, come on. We are running a hobby here together. We are basically from the ground up having the same hobby. We have the same passion for the same type of products. It's just that it goes to become focused on brands and it's all about what brand you have. And there's certain brands that are being talked way up that shouldn't be up there, and there's brands that are being stomped on and put down that shouldn't be. So just remind yourself that you are not in that group to satisfy others. You are in that group to satisfy yourself and get some positive things back. You are not there to make others happy and stuff like that. So if you come across these dumbasses, these idiots, these snobs, just block them, get them out of your life, don't deal with them. They're just there to pick a fight, to pick a conversation, pick an argument just for the hell of it. And that's all they do all day long. So these groups can be something really good for the most of us, and they can be really, really bad for most of us. It depends on who you interact with. So find a group that fits your need, your hobby, your interest, your specialty, your brand. There are so many groups out there that are specifically for brands. Like you have a group for techniques, you have groups for Yamaha, Cerwin-vega, JBL, and Marantz, and you name it. There are specialty groups for only those brands. So if one of those brands are your brand, you know that the one group you want to be in is in those specialty groups. That doesn't mean that you can't be a member of other groups that are more general, that covers a wider range of products and brands. But just be aware that if you do, you will meet people who doesn't like your equipment and your brand just as much as you do. And they will probably talk you down and try to. And these are the people you see walk around from group to group, and they are in one group, and some of these people even have two different identities. It's weird. There's one guy, I don't remember his Facebook name and ID and account, but I had a beef with him because he was just being an argumentative dumbass. He wanted to argument about everything. He wanted to talk shit about everything. So I blocked him. It turned out he had another profile on Facebook, and he started using that one. And it was a fake profile, of course, with a different name, but you saw it right away. It was the same dude. And so I reported him to Facebook because that shouldn't be allowed, you know. And so be aware, these people have multiple IDs and profiles on Facebook, and they're just on there to pick a fight and pick an argument, to pick a verbal conversation that is not positive at all. So just be mindful and do your thing on Facebook the way you want to be treated by others, and that way you can defend yourself and say, hey, at least I did something to make this group better, and I did something positive to make my hobby blossom in the right direction. And then you deal with others, just block them, get them out there. And if you run a group yourself, like I run like 4 or 5 groups now, and I'm a member of at least 20 other groups. There's nothing much I can do in those other groups, but in my own groups I have a set of rules that everyone has to follow, and I try to be kind of, I don't have a lot of rules, but I mean I have like no personal bully, no personal attacks, no rude language, you know, stuff like that, you know. But I allow people to have arguments. I don't shut down arguments because of, oh, it's not good. If the argument is fruitful and something good can come out of it, I allow arguments, but I watch them, and if they go over a line, I will just shut it down. So if you run a group, try and be mindful of what you want and what others want, and how you see things and how others see things, and build the best group you can. And if you get one of these dumbasses, you will recognize them when they come from group to group. You will see them, and this is why, as an owner of your own group, you should be a member of several groups, because you will learn from the other groups which one you want in your group and who you don't want to come into your group. So use other groups as kind of like a research on building a good member base, you know. That's how you can do it. And that's maybe the best advice I can give you. Use other groups to build your own group with the best members that you want in your group, that you think is the best suited for your group and other members. With that being said, just try and think like, I don't know where you live or whatever, what your background is. Like, I'm a European, I live in the States, but my way of thinking, my way of talking, my way of expressing myself from where I come from is different than other parts in the world, and other people in the other parts of the world may not pick it up the way I intended to say things. So just be a little bit aware of how you say things, because in different parts of the world, the way you normally say things and people are okay with in your neighborhood is maybe not picked up the same way over the pond in either direction. And so just be kind of like, have some antennas out there and get a feel for who your members are, how they react to other posts. Because as an admin and a moderator and a group owner, you are the sole responsibility of the whole group, as it functions, the way it turns out to be, how people perceive it to be. So it's up to you to form and mold and build this group in the best way possible. With that said, I just want to touch a topic that has been on my mind for a long time. Audio groups, you meet a lot of different people and a lot of dumbasses and assholes, and just get them out of your life, you know. Like I said earlier, it's Christmas, the best time of the year. I don't know if I'm going to be making any more videos this year. I mean, it's December 14th, 10 days to Christmas. If I make another video, it will be online shortly, but I don't know. If I'm not, I want to take this opportunity to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And Rossi Audio is now kind of like in a Christmas mood, and we are kind of like running on a quarter engine. We will come back in 2017 with more builds and more sales, things for sale and stuff like that. So keep an eye out. There's a lot of things coming up in early 2017 that is going to be really, really cool. We're going to build 3 models of speakers. 2 of them are one of a kinds. They will be only built as one pair. And the third one will run production of 5. So, and they will all be for sale coming up in probably somewhere in February, March of 2017. So keep an eye out for that. And video of the build and the final result will be posted on YouTube here. Also on our Facebook group and Facebook page. So we probably also will put it on our webpage, www.rossiaudio.com. So go there and take a look. The website is still under some kind of maintenance and it's not complete yet. More products will be coming and some changes will be done to it, but it's a platform right now. It's a base you can go and take a look. So until then, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. See you in 2017.